the head of the household.
No.
Okay, so we're now advocating for a patriarchy. We're now doing the number one thing. Which
no, wait a minute. Let me correct my answer. Ask me the question one more time because I want to give the right answer.
Sure. Is a conservative woman in charge of her man? Is she the head of the household?
I don't think so.
So
I don't think so.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're naturally advocating from a position of protectiveness, not from a position of authority, not from a position of oppression.
Yeah.
We're actually advocating for a patriarchy saying, look, we'll take on the stress. We'll deal with the problems. We'll pay the bills. We'll protect the house. I'm not here to oppress you. I'm not here to treat you badly.
Right.
I'm actually here to lead, and a conservative woman lets a man lead. And that's the point I'm making, that these feminists have been told that a man should never lead them, and that is why they're led astray by the system. So to say things which are controversial and will get you in a lot of trouble, that's my job, so I'll do it. If men are by and large in charge of the households and in charge of society, it is much harder to psyop the population with emotional arguments, which is why they're trying to remove man from the head of the household so they can use emotional arguments to convince you to commit suicide. Right. The Western world is currently committing suicide, and they can only convince you to do that emotionally because it's illogical to destroy your own society. It's illogical. So this is very purposeful. So when a woman sits across from me on any kind of podcast or a dating podcast or anything, says, I don't listen to no man. I'm like, you're not my enemy. You don't realize that you're a pawn on a board. You don't realize you're being used by my actual enemy, who's a man, who understands very well how to destroy the basics of society so that we are open for the mass enslavement. Because if anybody thinks that's where any of this ends, with AI, with the riots, with the burning of cities, with the mass crime, you know what they do? There's only one thing, and COVID's the lesson. There's only one thing that humans will accept a loss of freedom for: safety. I will take away your freedom and give you safety. I can prove that because I live in the safest country in the world and I don't have freedom, but I'm safe. So even I will say, you know what? Dubai is very controlled, but I can wear a $5 million watch in the middle of the night, and my woman and my kid, the young girl and a woman by herself, can go for a walk at 3 a.m. So we'll all accept a lack of freedom for safety. When this all burns down, they're going to come back and offer us safety, but they're going to control everything. And that is why they are pushing feminism. That is why talking against feminism gets you in so much trouble, because it is a weapon that is being used en masse to destroy Western society. And any woman who listens to this and thinks that that makes me anti-woman doesn't understand my message. Because what I'm saying is, look, we, as being, you all know this better than me. Patrick, how many times have you heard people say, I want to start my own business so I can choose my own hours?
All the time.
All these guys.
All the time.
All these guys. Being the boss sucks.
24/7.
People who aren't the boss, they go, oh, I want to be the boss because it's easy. That's why they'll never be the boss. When you're the boss, you're more stressed. You have more problems. You have more to deal with. When a man says, I want to run this household, women have been convinced to believe that means he wants to oppress her, when it's actually very much the opposite. He's saying, I want to take away all of the problems so you can focus on being the light in my life. There's a poem, and I don't know it exactly, but you'll have to Google it up. It's a beautiful poem. I think it was by a warlord. He's an Islamic warlord, maybe a couple hundred years ago. He said, stress is mine, pain is mine, war is mine, but you are mine. That is the point of life as a man. So when we come along and say, I want to run the household, and by extension the town, by extension society, it's not to oppress you. It's not to be mean to you. It's to actually protect you. And I've had these conversations with people when I talked earlier about the 1950s and the people getting married, and women come and go, yeah, but what if he beats her? Yeah, of course some men are pieces of shit. Of course there are some dickhead men. Of course 3% of men in 1958 were probably abusive and alcoholics and retards because people suck. But by and large, most men were just trying to pay the bills and raise their kids. By and large.